Thanks for joining us. It's Tuesday, September 20th here in Korea. Live from Seoul, I'm Han. Let's start at the National Assembly, where a 4-day interpellation session got started today. And on this first day, high-level government officials are being questioned mainly on domestic political issues. For more, we connect live to our parliamentary correspondent, Park Ji-won. Ji-won, how's the session going?
Hi, Darren. Around a dozen lawmakers from both sides of the aisle have been grilling high-profile government officials, including Prime Minister Han Kyo-won, as well as the ministers of Justice, Public Safety, and Interior. The questions are focused on the effectiveness of the government's crisis management capabilities, given the increased nuclear and missile threats from North Korea and the recent earthquakes that jolted the southeastern part of the country. Opposition lawmakers are also urging the government to reform the prosecution in order to make it more transparent and free from corruption. They are also pressing the government to dismiss senior presidential aide Woo Byung-woo, who is under fire for alleged influence peddling. The next session on Wednesday will focus on national security and foreign affairs, where the economy will be the main topic on Thursday, and educational and social issues will top the agenda on Friday. Back to you, Don.
Our Park Ji-won at the National Assembly for us this afternoon. Thank you. North Korea could be close to carrying out yet another provocation, this time a long-range missile launch. The regime's state-run media says Kim Jong-un has personally overseen the successful test of a new rocket engine. Our Connie Kim with the details.
As if North Korea's recent nuclear test was not bold enough, the regime now claims to have carried out a successful ground test of a new rocket engine. The North state-run Korean Central News Agency said Tuesday that leader Kim Jong-un guided the test of a rocket engine for a new geostationary satellite at the Seohae Space Center in the west of the country. It's Kim's first military-related activity since he oversaw Pyongyang's fifth nuclear test earlier this month. The young leader has identified space development as one of the regime's most pressing tasks and says the North must develop various types of satellites to become a, quote, possessor of geostationary satellites in a couple of years to come. South Korea's defense ministry says it's analyzing whether the test was a success. Military experts say the engine test is seen as a follow-up measure after North Korea launched a long-range missile in February. The test has sparked speculation the regime is preparing for a long-range ballistic missile launch around the October 10th anniversary of the founding of the North's Workers' Party. The North insists that satellite launches are for peaceful purposes, but they're widely viewed by the international community as cover for ballistic missile tests. Connie Kim, Arirang News.
The U.S. and China are reportedly working together to investigate a Chinese conglomerate that's suspected of aiding North Korea's nuclear weapons program, ignoring the heavy international sanctions on the regime. According to the Wall Street Journal, the Chinese police recently launched an investigation into the finances of Hongxiang Group. The report says this marks the, quote, most serious effort so far to pursue Chinese companies thought to be helping Kim Jong-un's regime. The mid-sized manufacturing firm near the China-North Korea border in Liaoning province was also mentioned in a South Korea-U.S. study that analyzed the supply chains that make Pyongyang's weapons development possible. The study suggests imposing secondary sanctions on Chinese firms that trade with the North would make existing sanctions more effective. Korea's southeastern region was rattled by yet another earthquake last night. The latest tremor came exactly 1 week after the same area was hit by the most powerful quake to hit Korea since records began nearly 4 decades ago. Kim Mo-kyun tells us more.
The earthquake, with a magnitude of 4.5, struck near Korea's southeastern city of Gyeongju at 8:33 p.m. Korea time on Monday. The Korea Meteorological Administration said the quake's epicenter was about 11 kilometers from Gyeongju City, which was struck by 2 powerful earthquakes exactly a week earlier at practically the same time. The agency said the latest quake was an aftershock from last week's 5.8 magnitude earthquake, which was the strongest quake to jolt the country since records began in 1978. Since then, more than 370 aftershocks have been detected, but the latest one is the strongest so far. Fire stations in Daegu and Busan, two cities near Gyeongju, received thousands of quake-related reports on Monday evening, while some residents in Seoul also said they felt the tremor. The Ministry of Public Safety and Security said 11 facility damages were reported and more than 14,000 calls were made to report the earthquake. However, there were no reports of injuries. The Korea Hydro and Nuclear Power Corporation also says all of the country's nuclear reactors are operating as usual. Kim Mo-gyun, Arirang News.
A 28-year-old man believed to have links with the bomb attacks in New York and New Jersey has been charged with 5 counts of attempted murder. Ahmad Khan Rahami, a U.S. citizen of Afghan descent, was captured after a shootout Monday with police in Linden, New Jersey. Officials say the suspect traveled to Afghanistan and Pakistan for extended periods in the last 5 years. He was identified through surveillance video footage planting the bombs in Chelsea, both the device that exploded on 23rd Street and another that did not detonate a few blocks away. His fingerprints were also found on one of the pressure cooker bombs in Manhattan. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more top stories here on Arirang. Thank you for watching.